Hey everybody, it's Sarah the Redneck Bifocal Stitcher. Welcome to my floss tube. This is all about cross stitch and my love of the fiber art. And I also love to read, but this is all about cross stitch. So sorry if my camera was a little shaky. I've got my board sitting right here on my lap. Yeah, this is floss tube number 4. And so I'm still new. And if you're new, welcome. Let's be new together. Excuse me. And if you are coming back, thank you for a vote of confidence and for supporting me. And yeah, here we are, number 4. And that's all I can say about that. Let's just jump right into it because I've got a lot of stuff. I'm not going to do any finish parades like I have in previous floss tubes, just because I've shown you pretty much everything. There's a couple things that I missed, but it can wait. It's not important. September was a very interesting month for me. I got sick. I got really sick. Hannah brought something home from school that was like a hybrid cold, flu, something, head, throat stuff. I felt like garbage, and I would come in here after getting her off to school, and I would just come sit in this chair, and I would, chat to people in my cross stitch groups on Facebook, and I'd just sit, and I would pull something out and hold it, or I'd put it in my Lowry frame, and I would just sit like it was more of a blanket, like a whoopee, comfort. That's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, not a lot of stitching. And then I went to Disneyland, so I was gone for 5 days. So that's almost 2 weeks worth of stitching that I didn't have a lot of time to work on. Or if I did, I just felt so crappy that I didn't. So anyway, that being said, I did go to Disneyland and I did take stitching. Alicia, my best friend, and I checked into the Disneyland hotel, and they asked us if we were there celebrating anything. And her birthday is at the beginning of September, and I had just finished my bachelor's degree beginning midsummer, and we thought it would be perfect to celebrate both of those. So she got a little button that said happy birthday, and I got a button that said just graduated. And it was kind of funny because I thought, well, this seems more fitting for a senior who just graduated from high school, but hey, I'll still wear it. That's fine. And it's nothing to balk at. Getting my bachelor's degree was very, very difficult mentally. And I made it. I wanted to quit. What is that saying? I didn't quit, but I did cuss the entire time. And that is very true. So we were celebrating that, and we got to the parks. I am a rope dropper. The second I can be in the park, I am at the park. And there have been many, many days where they will not escort me personally, but I will open the park and I will close the park. I am a ride enthusiast, and Alicia is my ambiance. I'm here for the people and the feeling and a little bit of shopping, and she's there for the experience and I'm there for the excitement. We'll put it that way. We Disney very, very well, and we've just learned how we operate and have a blast either way. So that being said, I did get, oh, you guys. Dun, 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 dun. This is my very, very first pair of Disney ears. We grew up 45 minutes away from Disneyland. So when we would go, we went frequently. We didn't go like all the time, but we went several times a year. And my parents never got us souvenir type things because we went so frequently. Anyway, my dad would, oh, this is dating me. And my dad would give me $10 and I could make $10 last a day at the park. I'd get a churro because it cost $1. And then I would go to the magic shop and I'd get one of the light up yo-yos that was red on one side and blue on the other. And it had a battery in it, and you'd toss it, you'd throw it down and it'd light up and do all the tricks. And I'd go over to the candy shop and get a little acrylic box full of lemon drops. I don't even know if they still have all of that kind of candy anymore. It seems like now it's the designer cookies and cupcakes and caramel apples and all. It's super fancy and super exorbitantly expensive. Oh, churros are $5.50 now. I can't believe it. But hey, I'll still buy one and I'll still eat one because that is nostalgia and they are delicious. So anyway, as I'm walking through the park, I wasn't stitching as I was walking from ride to ride. I only stitched when I was waiting in line and I knew that I was outside and would have enough lighting. And the way they handle the rides now, it seems like they try to have as little wait time inside enclosed areas for obvious reasons. So I was able to get some good stitching done. Rise of the Resistance, a lot of that waiting is outside. Pirates, Big Thunder, well, all of Big Thunder is outside. What else has a really good line? Haunted Mansion has a really good line for stitching. And that's the thing, line wait times did not affect me because I looked at it like this time is going to fly because I'm going to be standing here stitching. And it was great. I think my longest wait was a little over an hour for like Guardians of the Galaxy and or Rise of the Resistance. But again, I had my stitching with me, and when you're stitching, time flies. So progress. I did get a lot of stares, and I heard a couple comments from younger females. And some look at that lady with her 2 glasses on and her Disney ears and whatever. And I don't care. Like I said on my one of my Instagram posts, I'm 46. I have adult money. I have a love of roller coasters and a need for enhanced eyesight. I don't care. So I'm going to do what I love, and stitching was it. So I'll show you some pictures. I'll put some pictures in here so you can see my full setup. I would put my backpack on the front and I would unzip. I had my stitching on an 8x8 Q-snap with a grime guard, and everything was in a Ziploc bag so that it could be protected if I went on a ride that got wet, which the only thing remotely close was Pirates, and that's like not very splashy. So anyway, so I had everything there, and because it's hard to double up with my redneck bifocals on top, I just put them down here around my neck, and then I had my Q-snap propped up, and I'd use my backpack like a little table. I was trying to be very conscientious of my surroundings, so I would pull my floss out like this instead of doing one big long drag, just so that I didn't hit anybody behind me or to the side. I was worried about how close I would get to people, so I maintained a distance, and it worked out really, really well. I did drop my scissors once, and someone pointed it out to me, and I said, "Oh, thank you very much." There was a little boy who saw me stitching, and he tugged on his mom's shirt and said, "Mom, she made a house. Look, she made a house." And other than the young girls who thought I looked like an idiot, I may have, and I don't care. People were genuinely interested. I had one lady stop me and say she admired me for bringing that in and thought it was a smart idea. I saw someone else crocheting in line at Guardians of the Galaxy. And I thought, you know what? I'll do this again. It makes the wait times fly. And at the end of the day, I've got something pretty to look at while everyone else has dead cell phone batteries, because gosh, this is all I saw. People standing in line doing this. Or if they were teenagers, they were just hanging all over each other, macking, but we were all there once. So anyway, this is my stitching that I got done. I am super, super happy. The red I did on the airplane, and everything else was done in the park. I had a casualty. I did lose my bobbin of whitewash. So that is why I don't have the roof done on this house, and then a few other things done. Let me take these off. But yeah, I'm just really, really happy with the progress that I got done. 3 days to complete half. That's not bad. A little under half, maybe. There's some back stitching, tree trunk, but yeah, these stitch up so quickly anyway. So I'm quite happy. A fun little thing. I appreciated all of the comments and congratulations that I got from cast members, saying congratulations on my degree. I waited in line because Loki was out visiting the parks, and he is Rachel, my 25-year-old's internet husband. She loves Loki. She loves his friend Tom Hiddleston. And so I saw him and I waited in line and took a selfie with him. I will put that over here. And he saw my pin, my badge, my button, there we go, and said, "Oh, what did you graduate in?" And I said, "Well, I just got my bachelor's degree in nursing." And he said, "Well, then who's the real superhero?" And I was like, "Oh, that's very sweet." I don't think that, I don't know, this is my attitude toward my profession. I don't want to be thought of as a superhero. I am doing what I love, and I love what I do. But I don't feel like I'm a superhero. I'm helping people who need help. So be that as it is. It was very sweet for Loki to tell me that I am a superhero. So, what else can I say? Yeah, I had a great time. Again, I was terrified coming back on the flight, and I'm glad that the next time I'm going anywhere, it will be in, maybe January. So I have a couple months to build up the courage to get on an airplane again. And I'm sorry, whatever I had has really knocked me for a loop, and I feel like I've got something stuck at the back of my throat, which is also why my voice keeps kind of fluctuating, and I apologize for that. Some people don't like vocal fry, and I'm trying so hard not to let that happen. And okay, that's all I'm gonna say. And then while I was there, I am a Disney pin collector. I have thought about making some of my pins into needle minders, but then that means I wouldn't be able to wear my pins at the park, and I like to, so then don't make your pins into needle minders, whatever. So when I was there, I thought, well, maybe I'll try and find one that would make a perfect needle minder. And I saw this Mary Poppins pin. I love it so much. And I thought, this is the one that I want to make into a pin with her carpet bag and her parrot umbrella. And then when I picked it up, I realized, oh my gosh, this is really heavy and is not going to make a good needle minder. It's really thick, as you can see. And it's just super, super heavy. So, but I still bought it. I'll just put it on my board and figure out something else to make instead. I have a couple ideas, but again, I don't have to if I don't want to, and there it is. So there's that. I did buy Hannah a new Cruella pin. She loves Cruella. It's her favorite Disney villain. And then I bought Smalls Exchange recipient a pin related to a movie that I have the inclination that she likes based off of her Instagram username. So she should be receiving that later this week. And I posted I filmed a boxing before I closed everything up and sent it off to her. So I'll tack that onto my next video and let you see kind of what I sent for my smalls exchange. And I hope she likes it. I hope you like it. I know you know I'm sending it to you. So anyway, there is that. And yeah, Stitching in the Park, definitely would recommend. 5 stars, 10 out of 10, would do again. Highly recommend. And then I will recognize first and foremost that I made a cardinal sin. I committed a cardinal sin by saying that I was going to have something finished by the end of this month. And not only that, I said 2. I have learned my lesson. I will never again say that I will have this finished by X day, because you'll run out of beads or you'll run out of floss. So I ran out of beads on Crystal Christmas and had to run up and get some replacements. And yeah, gosh, I'm working on this. I have not run out of steam. I have spent many, many days beating on this. I grossly underestimated, but that's what I get for working on something after a very long break. So here's the beginning of half of what I've worked on. This angel, I've done all of the beads along the bottom of her dress. And then I'm still trying to figure out how to work around this 8 braid. She's got some wispies in this number 8 Krynic that I hate. But I have to do it. So anyway, she didn't have any of these beads done. So I finished all of these, and then moving on to this guy, I had stitched this part of his hat. And then I started up into all of the wispy, like the air flow and the little curly cues up here. I had to frog all of it because I used the wrong beads. And I realized it after I had looked at this side and saw how much of the beading in the air right here I had. And I was like, oh yeah, that can't go without being fixed. I have to fix it. So frogged all that, but that's okay. It happens. What else? I did a lot. Let me just get rid of this. I did a lot of the tree. I finished all of the wispy fringe, that Arctic Rays, and then all of this beading is new. All of the beading around here, this is new. This, and then I still have to come down into here. I added some of the back stitching on her dress, and there were a few of these gold spots that I had missed. I also did this part of this ornament that he's holding. There's some beading right here that I did. And then on this side, these two didn't have a whole lot that they needed. They were pretty much done when I picked this back up. But man, there's a lot of beading, and I really grossly underestimated. I'll admit it. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I was totally wrong. But I will continue to work on this through the month of October when I'm not doing my other plans. Yeah, I have not lost steam. I've done back stitching on their faces. I've found some spots where there's like one little square of 550 that would be in a flower section like this that I missed. A lot of 1s and 2s. So it is what it is. And what can I expect? My husband, bless his heart, I held this up to show him my progress. Here it is as a whole, and I'm trying to get it so there's no backlight. He looked at it and he said, you know what, Sarah, do you realize that you have been working on this since you were in your 20s? It's a good thing I really like him. How dare he call me out like that? Bless his heart. I love him. Touche. And then, I was talking to my mom about my plans for October, and she says to me, but what about, and I was like, shh, no, we're not going to go there. And she said, but what about all of your other projects? And I'm like, shh, we're not going to talk about that. That is not your concern. That is my concern, and I have no concern about it. Do I know I have a lot of WIPs? Yes. Do I know that I'm creating a lot more? Yes. But I love stitching and I love the process, and it is what it is. I could have mentioned all of the jelly rolls that she owns. I could have mentioned all of the quilt tops that she's made or is in the middle of constructing, but I didn't because I'm a nice daughter. So yeah. I will continue to work on Crystal Christmas. I'm so much closer than I was at the beginning of the month, and know that if I put in a good 2-3 days, I think I can get a lot more progress done. Notice how I'm skirting that word, that F word, I can't say it now. It's out of my lexicon. So I also worked on the stocking for my soon to be here great nephew Seamus. When I started at the beginning of the month, I only had this much done on his coat, and look how much I have now. I really, really like this, but man, I feel like this stocking, and if you've stitched Hector's stocking and you're watching this, maybe you can confirm my belief that this stocking seems so much more stitching heavy than other stockings. I feel like this is so saturated. Like normally this area would just have one little thing, but this is so much. And I ran out of floss, and even up in here, I still have more. Is that a little blemish on the fabric? Yes. There's still so much more, Holy smokes, I've got so much, but not really. I need to finish this tree, one more reindeer, bottom section, name, and then I'm done. So I'm close. Now that I have the 712 that I ran out of, I can do like the remainder of this little hat right here. And then I also misplaced my pattern, which I found last night, thankfully. I misplaced the pattern when I was reorganizing and cleaning. I inadvertently grabbed it when I was putting a different pattern away. Excuse me. So I will also continue to work on that through this month. Will it be a priority? Not necessarily, but I'm going to keep working on it. Then I worked on Miss Bingley's library when I started, and I've got an editing program, so I know how to add pictures now. So here's where I was, and here's where I am now. I did some challenge stitching and got more windows and that door done so that it'll be easier to fill in the middle of the house. I am using the variegated flosses for this, so I won't be able to outline. I can't in good conscience outline in a variegated and then fill it in, because you might notice some slight variances from the outline, and I can't do that. If you can, I admire you for that. So Miss Bingley's library, that's coming along quite swimmingly, And as I've always believed and said with words, it'll go quickly. And below the house, you've got words. And then up here, it'll be her and a nice little flower arrangement and maybe something else on the other. Well, she'll be here, then some flowers, and then something else over here. But this is coming along quite nicely. This is on a 40 count piece of Affogato from Fiber on a Whim with all of the called for flosses, stitched 1/2. And then I worked on, and these are all pieces that I had things specifically in mind, most of which was I just wanted to touch and make progress on. So I got about 250 to 300 stitches on Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. This is the Tom Turkey section in the bottom. If you're looking at it, it's in the bottom left. I worked on this little piece of corn, and this is about 250 stitches, I want to say. I like how it turned out. I did see someone submit this to the fair, and it's a local stitcher. She is also in Syracuse, and it was really cool, this sideline, sidebar, whatever you want to call it, tangent. When I submitted my American sampler to the fair, my husband took a picture of it, and there was a stitcher who finished Winter Rose Manor, which I'm also stitching on. Her piece was put below my American sampler, and I loved her finish. She used a really pretty fabric, and it was beautiful. And I thought, she's in Syracuse. I'm in Syracuse. Why don't I know her? And I thought, well, maybe I'll try and find her on Facebook. Well, there's a bunch of people with her name. And I thought, I'm not about to try this. So I'm friends with Cindy Sorley of Stitchery Express. Yes. And she sent me a message saying, hey, the stitcher who stitched that piece below yours at the fair is here, and she's wanting your phone number. So I've actually come in contact with her, and she stitched, here we come full circle, she stitched Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow and submitted it to the fair. She didn't stitch the corn that's on the side. She continued the stalks that were on this side and put them over here. And I thought that was really cool. But someone else, she has completed 2 pieces that I'm working on. And I thought, well, that's really cool. Someone who has a mutual interest and stitches the same things I do. I love finding stitchy friends, and I got one more. I'm so excited. So then with Jack Frost's Tree Farm, Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow, ivory linen, 36 count. I coffee dyed it, and I'm stitching 1/2 with DMC because buying MPI for that big of a piece is really, really expensive. So I also wanted to pick up Jack Frost Tree Farm to make sure that I did have enough room at the bottom of the piece, because I made a rookie mistake and started it at the wrong fabric orientation. I should have started it in portrait, but I didn't. I started it in landscape. So I've got this nice I've got this nice border up here at the top, and at the bottom, because I started it the wrong way, I only have 1 inch. And this was my main concern, was this fabric right here. I was worried that I wouldn't have enough. So I texted Betty at Art City Frames and asked her if this was going to be an issue when it comes time to framing this. And she said, we'll just add a mat and it should be okay. So I'm going to continue stitching this and not feel so nervous about my border at the bottom. So all I did was just this section, because I needed that confirmation that I had enough room, and I do. Then I wanted to work on Sleeping Bee, so I did. This is on a piece of Picture This Plus Wren 40 count. I am stitching this 1/2 with all of the called for flosses, and I worked on the wing, on this right wing. So I touched it, I stitched on it, I made progress, and that was my goal. And Sleeping Bee is from the Blue Flower. And then this is my work piece. I took Brave Hearts from Little House Needleworks to work and stitched on this in downtime when I wasn't in a case, cleaning, picking case carts, or resting my eyes. And when I started this, all I had was Heavens Awoke and For the Deep, I think. Is it Heavens Awoke? Heavens Above, sorry. But I got some good progress on that. All that's left down here at the bottom is some greenery and a little hill with some flowers. There's a house right here, and then the rest of the poem will fill in right there. So I'm quite happy with that. And then I don't know what fabric this is. It just came kitted up. I bought this off of Stash Unload and everything was with it except for the floss. So there's that. And then the last thing that I wanted to work on / touch, make progress on, was my Live on Little. And this was a new start. So here's the piece of fabric, and then here is how much I got done. I worked on this for challenge stitching in Fandom Stitching Central. This year they're doing Lord of the Rings. Next year they're doing Disney. And so that's the progress that I made. I'm loving this. This is 36 count Shrekie's tan from Needle Bling. And I am using the called for colors, stitching 1/2. So that's it for, no, sorry, that's not it. I had started this little ghost friend for a project, and Hannah has been gushing over it. And I thought, then like literally every time I work on it, oh my gosh, I love that. I love it so much. I love it. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. So this is, gosh, I've got the designer right here. White Pro T, and she's White Pro T Stitch. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I can't remember it. I've seen only one other person working on this design itself, and oh, it's so cute. Let me find it. I'm sorry, I don't have it ready. I should. White Pro T Art on Etsy, and this is what that's what it looks like. I'm switching up. I changed the colors to a variegated. I even stitched the ghost in a variegated, and I changed up the colors a little bit just to give it some variation. And yeah, I worked on that during September as well. And I haven't told Hannah, but I do plan on giving it to her when I'm done. So yeah, there's that. And then for plans for October, I am going to participate in the hashtag that Athena of Stitching Goddess Designs started a few years ago. The concept is taking the number 13 and incorporating it into your Halloween stitching somehow, working on a piece and watching 13 movies, working on one Halloween piece for 13 hours, 13 stitches, 13 projects, whatever you so choose. And because I am who I am, and I put myself on a Halloween hiatus several years ago because I just felt like I was doing too much Halloween. No, that's not a thing. There is no such thing as too much Halloween. I felt like I was heavy-handed in my Halloween stitching. So I put that aside and started working on other projects. I like that. That sounds more diplomatic. So I'm not going to tell you how many projects I am starting, but I do have some grandiose plans. And stitch what you love and love what you stitch. And as the Saltbox Stitcher said, if you've got it kitted up, you might as well call it a whip, because eventually it's going to get started. So there it is. I like that logic. So here's a pretty piece of vintage country mocha that is going to be the home of Halloween Tiny Town, not Harvest, Halloween Tiny Town. I am going to do the shepherd's bush conversion. There will be some purple thrown in there, and let me see here. Here's my fancy stitching bag. They've got some purple that they're going to work into it. There's some of the flosses. I know I could show it better, but there it is. I'm super excited. And I've said it in the past and I'll say it again. I love their color conversions. They're really pretty. So Vintage Country Mocha, I'll stitch it, probably 2, because I think it's either a 30 or a 32. The Big Hearted Tiny Town, this is Charlotte's Pink from Weeks Dye Works, and I believe this one is a 30 as well. So I will be starting Halloween Tiny Town. Then I will be starting, and I've shown this in the past, so I apologize for showing it again, but it is what it is. I will be starting Leave My Loneliness Unbroken from the Witchy Stitcher. This will be part of my Halloween starts, as well as my Witchy Stitcher Day contribution. Today is the first. It is Witchy Stitcher Day. It's been everywhere on social media, blowing up, and I'm so here for it. I really think Meg is a talented designer, and it sucks that she is now in the fight of her life against a very extremely rare form of cancer. So it was organized for October 1st to be Witchy Stitcher Day. Go to her website. Try not to use Etsy because they pull some of the funds away from her. She's got a website, thewitchystitcher.com, where you can buy her patterns, and she's got other merchandise as well. And all of the proceeds go to her instead of through Etsy, where they take some of those profits. So buy some patterns and stitch them up, and then all day you'll have good luck. So yeah, My Loneliness, Leave My Loneliness Unbroken from the Raven. I love that. And I will be stitching that on a piece of Picture This Plus Legacy. And I've got 2 other starts that are going to be on Picture This Plus Legacy. I have one bigger piece that I've split into 2 for the 2 Witchy Stitcher pieces that I'm starting. And then I also have, it's interesting, I was comparing that the other piece of Picture This Plus Legacy is a little bit lighter, but I still love it nonetheless. Gotta love a good neutral. Then I've got this piece of Lakeside Linen Meadow Rue Vintage. This is 40 count. Ooh, I really shouldn't have the price on there. Who am I kidding? We all buy linen and we know how much it costs. Whatever, here's my price. Take that, run with it, whatever. It is what it is. But I love this fabric, and this is going to be used for my Kathy Barrick. Tonight is Halloween. I love that. I think it's so pretty. This will be the first Kathy Barrick that I've stitched, and I've had this pattern since November of last year. So I've been really good about holding on to things. You guys, that's the same with Live on Little. I think I have really good ability of holding on to things, but I am not a hoarder. Don't come at me with that word. Okay, here is another piece of Picture This Plus Legacy. Yep, Legacy. This is my other Witchy Stitcher start, which is going to be, oh my gosh, let me find it. A Stitcher Haunts Here. And this pattern is in 2 colorways. One is kind of a darker, moodier, morbsy color palette. And then there's one that's a little more colorful. And I like this dark, gloomy version. So this is a Stitcher Haunts Here. And I'm going to start it on this piece of Picture This Plus Legacy. And then my next start is going to be the Salem Sisters Apothecary from Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I am going to be doing this on a piece of 32 count spiced honey from Color and Cotton. And I want to say, is this the same fabric that you're using, Allie, for Queen Bee? I can't remember. If you are, man, this is gorgeous. She's gorgeous on this, but I can't remember. Allie, let me know. Is this what you're stitching with Queen Bee on? Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. So I'm going to be doing the Salem Sisters Apothecary on this one. And then I have another new start. And then let's put that over here. Gosh, I think I've been holding on to this pattern the longest. I think I got it when it was released. And it's Madame Chantilly Celebrate Halloween. I love all of these designs, and I'm seeing more and more people stitching them. So it makes me want to start it too. So I'm going to be doing that on a piece of Barb's Blend. And it's a 32 count piece. And I really like that. That'll look really nice on this. There we go. And then I have another new start, which is going to be Goody Grimwood. I talked about this in my last video. This is the one that I saw stitched up on display at Cece's in Kansas City and knew I had to get it. And this is also a piece of Picture This Plus Legacy. And this one's a lot lighter than the other two that I have for the Witchy Stitcher. It just really boils down to dye lots. But I think, oh, excuse me, I think Goody Grimwood's going to look great on this. And then I am going to be starting Halloween Rules. And I've been holding on to this one for several years as well. I think I kitted this up at the same time as Christmas Rules, or pretty close to. And Christmas Rules is finished and hanging on my wall over there, which you'll see in another month or so. So Halloween Rules, and this is going to be on a 30 count piece of mocha. And they didn't write down a dyer, so I'm guessing that this is the color as is, but I really like it. And I did have everything ironed, I promise, but they've kind of been sitting in a pile waiting for me to tape. So Halloween Rules will be going on that. And then, yes, all of those are nice neutral linens, but I'm super excited for this one. I could have gone with a neutral, but I thought that this specific pattern would look great on a purple piece of fabric, and I'm super excited. It is going to be Witchy Washy from Raise the Roof Designs, and oh, look how pretty that is. And imagine that on a piece of Hocus Pocus 32 count from Fabrics by Stephanie. Is this so gorgeous? I love this. I love this fabric. It's so pretty. I don't know, maybe I should stop using so many neutrals, but oh. Imagine these together. Yeah? Am I crazy? I love my neutrals because I don't want my fabric and my design to compete with each other. That's my main reason for getting neutrals. But, oh, it's so pretty. And I have another piece of hyacinth that I got in one of my black needle boxes that's a purple. So now, yeah, I think I just opened up a new door broadened my horizons. This isn't necessarily Halloween, but I consider Stephen King to be the king of horror, next to, like, the king of horror books, next to horror, next to, like, Wes Craven, you know? So I'm stitching Stephen King house as part of my 13. And it is not a new start. I already started it. I started it during the summer, and this is on a piece of Picture This Plus Shale. I think this is a great fabric for it. It's kind of a purpley, red, gray, brown piece of fabric. That's how much I have. I'll have a lot more done at the end of the month. And then I started this. I mentioned that I put myself on a Halloween hiatus. The only reason why I started this was because I needed it to fill some prompts for Frogwarts challenges during the summer. So this is Halloween Fairy from Nora Corbett. And I'll just continue to work on her. She's going to be so pretty. I don't have her pattern anywhere near, but c'est la vie. And then this is a piece that I started while I was on vacation at Disneyland. This is Lola Crow Read in Peace. And I'm stitching this for a smalls exchange. I don't believe that the person who I'm sending this to watches Flosstube, so I figure I'm safe, and I'm assuming, which I know is not a good thing, but hey, it is what it is. They still don't know that I'm stitching for them. So here it is, Read in Peace. I love this. It's about 80 by 80, I want to say. It might be a little bit bigger than that, but here's what I have. And I really like this. I think I might stitch it for myself. So all that's left is a little bit of ground, the tree, the headstone, and then a little bit of tree branch. But I really like this one. And that will be for a smalls exchange. It's spooky. It could be scary, seeing a skeleton reading by moonlight in a graveyard. And then last for my 13, I might add one more, but tentative plans for right now is, and I know that this is not, okay, I really need to stop and think. Day of the Dead is not Halloween, but it is in the same time, and so I don't know, fuzzy logic. So I'm going to continue working on Memento Mori from Satsuma Street. I love this. I love the colors. They're so vibrant. Everything about this is just so fantastic. So I'm going to continue to work on that. And I might, nope, I'm not going to might, and I'm not going to say it out loud, because then it's not going to come to fruition and I will regret it. So anyway, that's all of my plans, and that's really it. So I'll check in a couple weeks, hopefully, and have some good progress on everything. I am participating still in the fandom stitching central for Lord of the Rings. I am doing the Humans versus Zombies event that Black Needle Society is starting today, and just my own personal challenges that I have set for myself. So we'll see how my stitching goes, and I hope everyone has a great day stitching. Have fun, and I'll see you later.